Hello. Let's imagine that we can turn this organic waste into valuable fuel, healthy crops, and other sustainable products. My name is Yoav Edgar, and I'm BugEra CEO, Insect Biotechnology for a Sustainable Future. Here's the hero of our story, the black soldier fly, or BSF for short. BSF is a magnificent and harmless animal that turns organic waste into valuable products like protein, oil, and fertilizer. Used today mainly for the animal and pet feed, BSF is both unique biorefinery and a bioreactor. In the last decade, BSF was domesticated and commercialized for industrial use. It is grown by farms, which transforms up to 250 tons of organic waste a day into oil and protein and sell them mostly for animal feed. The current BSF market is estimated at $1 billion and predicted to triple by the end of the decade. In addition, the BSF segment attracted more than $300 million in investment in the last 3 years. We believe that the potential of this market is far from being fulfilled. While BSF oil composition is a perfect fit for biodiesel, it is not profitable due to low BSF oil volume. According to biodiesel experts, the industry requires a new source of feedstock to satisfy the growing biodiesel demand, which will be 5 times bigger by 2024. Our first product is a perfect solution. Using genetic engineering, we are developing a new strain of BSF that can produce double and more oil volume, making it profitable for the biodiesel industry. And this is just the beginning. By leveraging genetic engineering, we create a patent-pending modified BSF platform that allows us to develop multiple strains for multiple verticals. Our strategy is to start with the biodiesel segment, which allows us a relative short time to market and serves as a risk reduction to the second product for the biopesticides market. Since the first target is biodiesel, I would like to present what an attractive opportunity it is. The biodiesel market was estimated at $30 billion in 2020, while it is predicted to grow by $15 billion in the next 5 years. This prediction is amplified by the Biden administration that announced a clear goal calling for a novel biomass for fuel production. Even under a modest assumption, if the producers of BSF oil capture only 5% of this growth, they will add a new revenue stream of $150 million per year. Our product is an enabler for this huge potential of the BSF industry. This is why our business model is to sell the modified BSF colonies to the existing BSF farming companies. They are our customers. The colonies will be shipped to the customer every several months according to the desired oil volume and price. The BSF farms will use identical process they are using today to breed our strain, extract the crude oil, and sell it to the biodiesel refineries. The target price of 1 ton of crude oil should be around $700, being a very competitive cost with existing feedstocks and providing significant profit. Our revenues will come from a revenue share or licensing model with the BSF farming companies. And as for our competition, we have identified 4 direct competitors. When comparing their offering with our value proposition, it is clear to see that our platform-based technology allows us to develop multiple new products for multiple new markets. In addition, there are 2 Israeli-based companies that share with us similar expertise. We see them as potential partners rather than competitors. And how will we do that? We have the best team for the job, with over 60 years of combined experience in scientific insect research and business. Anna Melkov, vision, ideas, and soul, together with her unique experience in insect genetics, are the reason I am here presenting to you. Uri Abdu is the founder and the head of the Insect Genetics Lab in Ben-Gurion University. And I am a retired lieutenant colonel from the Israeli Air Force with vast leadership experience in diverse technologies and global deployment, a veteran VP of an Israeli startup, TowerSec, acquired by an American corporate in 2016. And these are the goals for the next 18 months. We aim to be the first to hit the BSF market with a novel strain targeting the biodiesel challenge by the end of 2021, while engaging with a design partner, expanding the team, and setting up an initial R&D site. This will enable us to reach first sales in the second half of 2022, and in parallel to develop the second product with the biopesticides market by the end of the same year. To execute this plan, we are raising $2 million. Our team, together with this little fly, bring a disruptive innovation that turns this into reality, from organic waste into fuel and profit. I'm inviting you to join our team in the journey into the bug era. Thank you.
Let me ask you something. Is this really what we want to leave behind? And this is not some godforsaken country. This is the United States. It's Michigan, it's Pennsylvania, it's Long Island. Is this what we want to leave for our children's future? Well, we do not. We're DOTS. We're the first and so far the only company with a proven groundbreaking technology for real-time nitrate monitoring in agricultural soils. But let's start at the beginning. Today, there's no such thing as agriculture without fertilizers, which are critical for crops and high yields. 65% of them are nitrate-based. Thing is, nitrate is tricky, as it's highly mobile in the soil. 1 minute it's there, and suddenly it's gone. To ensure adequate fertilization, farmers always overdose the soil, leading to 40% waste. Resultantly, farmers suffer great financial losses year on year. The world faces an ever-growing environmental catastrophe, and municipalities face high water rehabilitation costs. And why is that? Well, although critical, companies attempting to address the problem do not. They offer estimation methods, smart, but estimations nonetheless, or visual analysis methods, which are too little too late, as by the time you see the lack in fertilizer, the damage is done. And there's manual sampling, which on large-scale farming is very expensive. There is no proven technology offering real-time data at the point of need, at the time of implementation. So, let me tell you our story. A few years ago, Dr. Elad Yeshno, a young and inspiring student at the time, reached out to Professor Ofer Dahan, who is a well-known expert in nitrate-related issues. Knowing the solution must be interdisciplinary, they called for Professor Shlomi Arnon, an electrical and computer expert, to join them. And after years of research, they cracked it. Lucky for me, when they felt market ready, they invited me to lead the next part of the journey. I'm Rafi, and I bring with me over 35 years of engineering, management, and business experience. We're DOTS, and we developed an enabler for real-time analysis. For the first time, nitrate can be continuously and precisely monitored. With DOTS, fertilizers can be precisely applied only when required by the plants. DOTS developed an innovative electro-optical sensor, enabling continuous, automatic, high-rate data sampling at the root level. Our technology is unique, proven, owned, and patented. And where do we stand? Our first generation is fully proven. Our second generation is now in the advanced stages of field tests. And the next generation is already in the workings and shall be a tin can size unit. So let's see the market potential. Fertilizers in use hold 65% nitrate and are sold for $70 billion yearly. The sad reality is that $30 billion turn to waste every year. As we expect a 50% reduction in waste, the first available market stands at $15 billion a year. We foresee a wide penetration as we hold a unique technology. But even at a conservative 5% penetration, our immediate market is close to $1 billion a year. We will start with Europe and the US as they are regulation-driven, and proceed to other countries which are also moving towards regulation. We will diversify to additional chemicals, not only nitrate. And we will offer big data to support authorities in mapping contamination, to support fertilizer companies in research and product improvements, and to support farmers in correlating between fertilizer usage to yields and quality of crops. What are we up against? Well, there are many companies in the sector, but all of them hold a limited solution, as they offer estimated data, or too late data, or expensive data. We are the only company offering a precise, practical, and affordable solution. We've invested over 7 years of research and close to $500,000. We're now looking to raise $2 million for further research, product design, beta deployments, production readiness, marketing, and sales. With this investment, we will also reach our first paying customers. We plan to move from a technology demonstrator to a product within 1 year, from a product to sales within the second year, and reach cash flow positive by the fourth year. If you're still asking yourself why us? Why now? Well, us, because we have the right team. We have an interdisciplinary and experienced team specifically in this field, because we own disruptive technology, developed, proven, and patented. And mostly, Because we've demonstrated results showing higher yields and minimal contamination. And why now? Because the market calls for it. Farmers struggle for cost cutting and higher yields, and the environment cries for help. Just imagine the great ecological value we will deliver. We're dots. We're the first, we're on the dot, and at the right spot. Thank you.
What you see here is a modern facility where the sorting and dispatching is fully robotized. Wait, fully? Well, almost. The picking is still manual due to the wide variety of shapes and sizes of packages, and this is what we are here to change. Welcome to the world of e-commerce. You just bought something online and can't wait for it to arrive. Shortly after, it magically appears on your doorstep. Unfortunately, magic isn't real, and a lot of hard work is put into fulfillment. Did you know that an Amazon employee is expected to pick 2,800 items per shift? That is why e-commerce companies have invested so heavily in robotics, creating more and more autonomy in their warehouses. Despite a massive increase in warehouse robotics, there is a notoriously difficult task that humans still have to do. That is, picking and packing individual items. Robots have difficult time doing this, and no reliable solution currently exists, so human workers have been left to perform this repetitive, back-breaking task. Humans are, well, just human. That means that they can make mistakes, can only work so fast, need costly training and management, and they can be harmed by these difficult tasks. Although some robotic startups have recently entered the market, the solution isn't good enough. These companies mostly use standard grippers like suction cups, which can't grasp porous or irregularly shaped items. None of them have reached reliability numbers that are good enough for the e-commerce industry. That's where we come in. Pickommerce is going to solve the grasping problem and bring reliability up to e-commerce standards. Our robot will grasp everything and miss nothing. Before we move on to our solution, let me introduce our team. Our CEO is Moises, an accomplished CEO with over 13 years of experience in logistics and management. Moises knows everything there is to know about logistics, warehouses, packing, and the business surrounding it. On the tech side, Yoav, our CTO, has a PhD in robotics with significant technical and management experience. Professor Alon Rimon and I had our respective robotics lab in the Technion and Ben-Gurion University. Alon has literally written the book on robotic grasping. Combined, we have dozens of years in successful robotics research. Our team's expertise in robotics and logistics has allowed us to come up with our unique solution. We know that suction cups and jaw grippers can't grasp everything, but we'll use them to grasp what they can. To complete the goal of 100% item grasp, we add a third gripper, the sticker-based gripper, which is a completely new concept. This new device grips a specialized sticker, stick it onto the product, and use it to move the product. You can see our early prototype here, grasping two items in ways that vacuum grippers would struggle to. We are currently working on a more advanced prototype with extended capabilities. The sticker stays on the product after picking. The user can print barcode, advertisement, nutritional values, or whatever they desire. Our solution robustness directly increases the packaging speed while eliminating mistakes, increasing the warehouse productivity, and saving money all around. The market size for e-commerce is understandably huge and growing fast. The wages for picking employees worldwide is estimated at $240 billion. Of that, a conservative estimate of packaging robot industry is around $4 billion and growing. Right now, the market is virtually untouched. No robotics competitors have penetrated the market, And if they do, there is plenty of room for competition. Now is the perfect time to introduce a new, innovative picking company to the fray. Part of the reason that other startups haven't penetrated the market is that they can't pick everything. And even to pick what they can, some need to work in warehouses designed and built especially for them. Our system's unique approach allows us to grab everything in any warehouse. With growing market and few competitors, we plan to make money. We are testing two business models that can work for us: selling the system as a whole and then selling the stickers it uses. Alternatively, we are open to a leasing model where the customers pay a set fee for each item picked by our robot. Looking forward, we expect to have our next, most advanced prototype within a few months of investment, capable of high-level demonstration. Within a year, we will have a pilot system in our design partner's warehouse, giving them real value. By the 2-year mark, we will have a system for sale, ready to pick everything. We will need $3 million to get us there. The world is moving toward robotics, and fast. There is no good reason for us to still have workers breaking their back doing mundane jobs. It's about time we let robots do the work. We are Pickommerce, and we will pick everything, so let's go to work.
Every 3 seconds, older adult treated in ER due to fall. Every 90 minutes, an older adult dies from fall-related injury. Imagine how it feels like, living in constant fear that you may fall. We are talking about our parents, our family, and ourselves in the near or far future. We are GoBalance, and we are here to change this sad reality now, because one day we can all be this falling senior. My name is Shmulik. I am the CTO of GoBalance. I am a PhD researcher in robotics and control. Shani Batzir, the CSO, physical therapist, and a PhD researcher. Our advisory board includes the most expert members you will ever find: Professor Amir Shapiro, robotic expert; Professor Yitzhak Meltzer, specialized in balance control; Professor Steven Rabinovich, and Dr. Nachum Soroker, balance expert. Over 110 years of experience in balance control. In 2020, the senior worldwide community was over 720 million people. More than 27% of adults aged over 65 fall at least once a year. 10% reported fall-related injury, hip fracture, head or wrist injury. About 50% will develop fear of falling. The senior population will double itself in the next 30 years, and we are going to deal with what's called the silver tsunami. The economic implications are huge. A single falling event costs between $2,000 to $26,000. Yearly medical costs related to fatal fall injuries is over $750 million, while for non-fatal fall injuries, the economic hit over $50 billion market. What you see here is the GoBalance POC system. We have held clinical trials with 48 patients. The system is applying unexpected lateral tilts, stressing the lady's reactive balance control. It's impossible to achieve it on a standard equipment. Let's see what's really happening here. The trainee safely pedals a stationary exercise bike. The system applies unexpected perturbation. A computer vision system detects and analyzes the trainee reaction, physical and cognitive. A sophisticated AI algorithm prepares the next personalized training session. Cognitive training applied during the whole session. Fun, intuitive cognitive games that are integrated with the perturbation, for example, riding in the forest. After each session, the trainee gets a feedback for his performance to encourage the next session. Unexpected perturbation balance training. First, we improve the reactive balance control. By that, we reduce the fear from falling. Recent meta-analysis showed that balance perturbation training reduced the risk of falling by 46% compared to other solutions that can reduce the rate only by 25%. In our preliminary trials, we see a significant improvement in daily balance activity using BugEra score. We have compared ourselves to the most high-end solution there is today. I want to point out two most important parameters that we differentiate by from others. Unattended, no need for professional assistance during the session. Sit, let's be honest, it's very difficult for seniors to do physiotherapy while standing or walking. As you can see, our systems have a variety of advantages over the others. We want to help the world while making money. The system will be sold or leased. We will have a SaaS model for analytics and personalization. The system price is $25,000 and we will have an insurance code. The target market is nursing homes and rehabilitation centers, starting in Israel as our sandbox. Next are Canada and US with the help of our board members' connections. 10 years of research produced proof of concept, IP, and clinical trials with 48 patients. In 12 months, product development and more clinical trials with more data. In 24 months, we will have market exposure and the product will be ready for mass production. We are looking for $2.6 million to start our operation and to reach first revenue. GoBalance, for life without fall, for life with balance. Thank you very much for listening.
Everyone knows Stephen Hawking, a genius brain locked in a decaying body. Stephen Hawking died from amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, also known as ALS, a disease with no cure to date. Hi, I'm Dr. Gil Ben-Menachem, the CEO of NeuroMagen Pharma. We are developing a new class of drugs for neurodegenerative diseases. NeuroMagen's near-term focus is on one of our compounds, NT-499, which delays the onset and the progression of ALS. It is not known what causes ALS. The patient's motor neuron gradually die, and the muscles activated by these neurons are wasted and become paralyzed. As the disease progresses, the patients will have difficulty speaking, moving, and eating. And when the paralysis reaches the respiratory system, the patients will die, typically within 2 to 5 years from diagnosis. Taking care of an ALS patient is a heavy burden for their family members. Their care is required 24 hours a day. Some of them often quit their jobs, and they also incur out-of-pocket expenses estimated at $250,000 per patient. In the US alone, about 5,000 new ALS cases are diagnosed every year, and there are about 35,000 living patients overall. These numbers are expected to significantly grow over the next few years with the aging of the population. And sadly, currently, there are no cures for ALS. The only therapeutic help ALS patients can get is in the form of symptoms relief. The two drugs which are approved are Riluzole, a generic drug that typically extends the patient's life only in 3 months, and Radicava, which is a drug with limited effect, if any. It was recently approved in the US, but it was rejected by the EU. Nevertheless, it sold $250 million in 2019. This high demand demonstrates the unmet medical need for safe and effective drugs for ALS. According to global data, the ALS drug market is expected to grow from $200 million in 2018 to more than $1 billion in less than 10 years, mostly due to the aging of the population. We've assembled a top-notch team of experienced professionals, including 3 PhDs and a chemical engineer, to develop this breakthrough drug I'm going to show you in a minute. Esther Priel, the scientist behind the technology, is a professor of molecular biology at Ben-Gurion University. She has over 35 years of research developing new drugs for the treatment of devastating, incurable diseases. Esther is a world expert in the field of neuroprotection by telomerases. Dr. Helena Greenberg has extensive background and experience in drug development and in medical devices. And Daniela Buchnik is a chemical engineer responsible for operations. And lastly, myself. I have more than 20 years of experience in business development and management in large pharmaceutical companies such as Teva and Excel, as well as in smaller biotech companies. I know how to develop a drug and how to commercialize and monetize it. Over the years, I came to realize that what excites me most are the early stage technologies that have a huge dream behind them, a chance to make a real difference in patients' lives. And so when I came across Professor Priel's technology, I immediately saw the opportunity to change the way we treat ALS patients. I'm truly excited to make it a reality and to get to work. One of the novel drugs that Esther developed is NT499, a small molecule which activates an enzyme called telomerase. This activation protects the neurons, prevents their degradation, and enables the growth of new ones. This is a paradigm shift in the treatment of ALS. Currently, there are no drugs that show such effect. And so our compound has a good chance to be not only first in class, but also best in its class. NT499 crosses the blood-brain barrier. It is active in nanomolar concentration, and it appears to be safe at the effective dose levels. All characteristics that make it a great drug candidate. When we treat ALS mice with NT499, which show symptoms very similar to human ALS, we see a significant delay in the time when the symptoms appear. And the treated mice also lived longer. Professor Priel research also showed that treated mice had 60% more neurons in the spinal cord than untreated mice. So what's next? We have a very clear path, a roadmap ahead of us. Within 2 years from investment, we will complete the preclinical work, we will submit an IND application to the FDA and enter first-in-human trials. We anticipate to be in the clinic in 2 years and, with the help of Big Pharma, in the market within 5. Our goal is to bring to market a new breakthrough drug to treat ALS patients, which will significantly delay the onset and the progression of this horrible disease and hopefully improve and extend patients' lives. Not having to pour ice buckets over ourselves in order to raise awareness for ALS would be an additional upside of our success. We're ready to get to work, and we thank you for your attention.
Shalom, my name is Shai, the CEO of SafeMind. Fasten your seatbelts because you're about to be scared.
Every single action you take is carefully monitored and recorded. Exactly what image you stop and look at, for how long you look at it. Oh yeah, seriously, for how long you look at it.
They know when people are lonely, they know when people are depressed, they know what you're doing late at night, they know the entire thing.
They have more information about us than has ever been imagined in human history.
Scary, isn't it? We grew naive about the flip side of these technologies. Most people are clueless. Now think, what if someone will use your psychology to attack you? This is where the rest of the industry is still lagging behind, and that's where we step in. We are an elite cybersecurity team with years of experience combining industry and academic research, defensive and offensive. And we are focused on the problem. These days, cyber-targeted attacks surpass mass attacks. Why? Because we got so addicted to our phone, apps, and social media, we are basically giving our privacy away for free. In addition, post-COVID-19, people are working anytime, anywhere, which means the traditional security perimeter is gone. Oh, and one tiny thing, large money is involved. Did you know 95% of the attacks are caused by human error? Look at 2020 spike. The bad guys are taking advantage of this. Such attacks, like advanced persistent threats, ransomware, carry high victim conversions and are executed by well-funded organized crime organizations or nations because, at the bottom line, human behavior is the key. Existing paradigms and tech solutions cannot catch up. This is where SafeMind shines. In our vision, we put the human being at the center, protecting you, your data, and your privacy against yourself, so others will not be able to use it against you. The solution we offer is personal, adaptive, context-based security. We are focused on the crossover between personalities and vulnerabilities. How do we do this magic? Data-driven approach. We observe the digital dust of people's daily lives from multiple sources, build a persona around it to predict continuously, on a minute level, in what contexts or scenarios you might be more vulnerable to an attack. This info can be fed into security operation centers, policy engines, or be used by cyber insurance companies. Looking around us, it is clear we are pioneers in an uncharted territory. Personal, adaptive, context-based security. And why do we stand out? SafeMind's killer feature is a behavioral taxonomy, which is based on 7 years of research. In plain English, our ability to determine which personality types and situations are most susceptible to particular types of cyber attacks. Not only that, we measure the risk possessed by others on your social circles, and we use adversarial AI to mask your profile against hostile AI. Industry leaders we connected with, such as McAfee and Eclipse, believe we are the next best thing. They are on board. Are you? Well, you should be. The market potential is huge. We play at the intersection of these three domains and position to disrupt these combined markets. Our value proposition is substantial. For employees, Equifax Chief Information Security Officer said, frontline folks would like to behave better. They just don't have the data. Well, now they have it. They can choose to opt in or out and gain rewards when behavior improves. For CISO, loss avoidance, explainable AI, adaptive security. For managed security service providers, we provide risk-based management across multiple sources of info and predictions. The business model is based on an annual subscription. Good, better, best model is customized to all business needs, small, medium, or enterprise. Our roadmap starts with a PC, agent and agentless versions, move to mobile, social media, and somewhere towards 2023, build the next product that will dig deeper into the privacy protection space. For this journey, we're looking for $5 million investment. And if you are still not convinced you need to join us, here are some of the things you don't want to miss. $1 million grant over 7 years of research, registered patent, amazing traction, pilot is done, and we're ready to go live in 6 months from investment. So remember, with SafeMind, if someone is trying to attack you, we take it personally. Thank you.